Hi, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternities. Thoughts on The Defenders, this for Season 1, Episode 4, Royal Dragon. So this was a pretty, exposition-heavy episode. Is basically, we finally see the four Defenders get together, and of course it isn't all sort of hearts and love. There's a lot of infighting and people getting used to each other. So I like some of the character interactions in this episode. I think it was a great scene. We already had this pre-established relationship with Luke and Jessica Jones, so it's interesting that the two of them knew each other. But then everyone else is starting to getting to know each other. They're getting to know Matt Murdock and getting to know Danny Rand, and it's interesting seeing how the two of them conflate. Like, Danny, as I said, he was the one who's most like wanting to make a superhero team. He's like, let's team up. Whereas like Luke and Matt were willing to team up, they're still very sort of iffy on it. Like, well, particularly Matt. It took Matt a while, a little bit of convincing, because of course he'd given up being Daredevil entirely. But I think this sort of it was kind of weird, because Jessica was kind of the one that convinced him that he did have something in the fight. But then again, Jessica left herself. She's the one who just took off and be like, I'm not a part of this, I have nothing to do with this. And that makes sense that she'd be the one who would be least willing to work in a team, because she is the one who is more apathetic and doesn't really care about anyone, but deep down she does. So I knew that was going to get the better of her, which we see happens when her, the woman who hired her, and she has a lot of sympathy for her, especially the young daughter who lost her father. It's obvious Jessica has a lot of sympathy for her. So when they were threatened by the Hand, that of course is what draws her back in. And we also get Stick shows up. I sort of assumed that this would happen, that Stick would, when they were starting to break up and not get along, that Stick would come in and be like, you guys need to work together to save the city. And of course, that was kind of a negative for Matt, because he does not like Stick, and it showed. What was interesting, though, is that Stick was like, oh, we're part of the Chase, and the Chase served the Iron Fist. So it's like, we are your army to Danny. And he's like, oh, great, I have an army. He's like, well, not anymore. We're all dead except for me. Duh. That seems kind of dumb. But I absolutely love, like, one of my favorite parts of this whole show so far was when Stick was talking about, oh, the immortal Iron Fist is also a colossal dumbass, and brought out his cell phone and smashed it, because he is a dumbass. And that's funny, because before he was talking about, oh, I serve you, you are the power, and then he was like, but you're also a dumbass. That was great. I love that. And of course, we've seen some of the scenes in the trailer of them at this restaurant where, they're bringing out the food, and Matt was like, oh, that's not pork, that's pork over there. And Jessica's like, God, you're weird. So it was interesting. It was really interesting seeing these different character dynamics play out. But this is a very exposition-heavy episode. So we also learn a bit more about Sigourney Weaver's character, Alexandra, I believe she is called. She referred to as they're getting together. I don't know. We still don't know exactly what this big plan, but she's gearing up for something huge, and apparently a lot is at risk. So she's worried about something. But apparently part of the huge plan, whatever it is to get the Iron Fist. So, and when she meets him at the end, she even says to Danny, she's like, I might try to kill the others, but I'm not trying to kill you, I want to acquire you. But maybe they do want to kill him, so they can resurrect him the same way they did with Elektra, because now Elektra's on their side because she's a totally different person. So maybe they do want to kill him but bring him back to life so they can control the Iron Fist. I don't know. But that seems like to be like option B. Option A seems to be to convince him to go on their side, but that's a stupid. They should know that they're never going to convince him to do that. Yeah, but again, I can't get over the fact that they were like these, corporation CEO business types, and all of a sudden they turn into ninjas. And she even showed up and was sort of treating him like he was another, executive, but really there was a lot more to it than that. And I liked that when Danny was joking about it and saying how he was trying to handle it a different way, how he even put on his tie. But really, he just shows up there and like, you're the hand and I'm going to defeat you, which is dumb. But I covered that in the last episode. But I don't know about the end part where Jessica Jones like throws the car into the Chinese restaurant. Like, the poor restaurant owner. I mean, who's going to pay for that? I suppose Danny can afford it. He's going to pay him back. But still, it's still not a good thing to have his restaurant destroyed. But anyway, I don't know about that scene, because she just throws the car at Elektra and knocks her down, and then she goes over and stands next to the other defenders. That felt a bit telegraphed, and she was like, "Oh, who missed me?" or whatever. Why didn't she actually keep attacking Elektra while she was down? It seemed like something Jessica Jones would do, and I don't know. It just seemed kind of fake for her to just throw the car and then walk over. But whatever. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. I'm really worried now, actually, to be honest, because we're already halfway through the season, and it seems like the story is just getting started. So it makes me feel like they're going to spend a lot of time on the setup, but not enough time on the actual payoff. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I just have my doubts. We'll see where they go from here. So those are my thoughts on episode 4. So be sure to join me for episode 5. Thanks for watching.